unstoppable power surges through your veins. You are the storm that shattered the calm. You are the force that turned the tide. You are the spark that ignited the torch. You are the reckoning that they never saw coming. You turn the tables, and now they scramble. They tangle, they feast on fear of what they unleashed. The power you wield is not borrowed. It is not borrowed. It is the raw, unfiltered will. You unleash the ambition within you that refused to submit, that refused to whisper when silence was expected. You crushed their entire image. You laid bare their illusions. You demolished their facades until nothing remained but truth. The shivers that run through their bones are testament to your rise. The walls that once trapped you now tremble before your dominance. You stand unwavering, unyielding, undefeatable. And the world must reckon with this reality. This is not courtesy. This is not a favor. This is reclamation. This is roaring triumph in the face of quiet despair. With each breath, you claim what was always yours. You rewrite the rules. You redraw the lines, you leave no doubt. You turn the tables, and now they're begging for a way out because they sense the avalanche. They know they're no longer the hunters, but the hunted. They beg for a way out. But your will is your way out because you are the sentence. You are the verdict, and you are the execution of destiny itself. In this moment, you owe nothing to anyone yet, everything to yourself. You forged your path in fire and in shadow. You thrived on the edge of what they swore you couldn't cross, and you rose higher than they ever dared to imagine. Your name becomes thunder. Your presence becomes quake. Their whispered doubts become your battle cry. Their disbelief becomes your anthem. Every glance they cast your way drips with envy, with awe, with fear. You are living testimony that their limitations are lies. Their rules are shackles to be smashed. Their comfort is stagnation to be abandoned. You stand triumphant, and they feel the ground quake because the gravity of your arrival is enough to warp the core of their world. Friends, if you are feeling that hunger, if you are burning with the fire of what could be, if your heart pounds with the sheer certainty that you are made for this moment, if your spirit aches to leave a mark that cannot be erased, know that this is your creed, this is your calling, this is your thunder and your redemption. Believe it. Believe in yourself with every fiber of your being. Let that belief flood your blood. Let it crack bones. Let it set you ablaze. Walk into every room, every challenge, every doubt, with the confidence that your harbinger is carved of iron and ambition. Let them watch. Let them whisper in fear, because watch. They will, and they will quake at the magnitude of your presence. Let them beg for a way out, because there is no refuge from the force you are. Now I ask you, listen deeply, subscribe, like, and comment, because this movement, because this surge, because this charge, it is bigger than words. It is the ignition for others. It is the spark in the endless dark that needs to be fanned into conflagration. Join this wave. Don't just stand by. Let your voice join ours. Speak through your presence, through your reactions, through your decisions. Subscribe, like, and comment as a promise to yourself that you refuse to stand silent, that you refuse to bow, that you refuse to fade. You are not a spectator. You are a catalyst. You are not a whisper. You are a roar. Without your voice, this storm stalls. With your voice, we reshape destinies. So subscribe, like, and comment now, and let us rise together. Your power is not given. It is earned by refusal, by persistence, by refusal to settle, by refusal to be invisible, by refusal to be polite. When history demands defiance, you turned the tables. You inverted the narrative. You rewrote the script. They are begging for a way out because they sense the shift in the air. They sense the tectonic plates of power moving under their feet. The structures they built collapse in the echo of your march. The myths they told themselves unravel in the face of your truth. You are not subject to their allowances. You are not hostage to their boundaries. You are the earthquake that swallowed their illusions. Rise, then. Rise with the weight of all your triumphs. Rise with the fire of all your battles. Rise with the certainty of all your victories. Rise and let the world feel the tremor of who you are, because you are not silent. You are the roar at the heart of the storm. You are the dawn breaking over every night. They taste fear because they feel your horizon coming for them, because destiny trails behind you in your wake. In each pulse of your being, there is intention. In each step, there is purpose. In each glance, there is consequence. You are not accidental. You are not misunderstood. You are invitation and challenge all at once. You are resolute. You are relentless. You are the embodiment of every barrier that was shattered and every expectation that was outdone. You held the mirror up to them, and they fractured. They had no path to safety, because safety was never theirs to hold. Not when you are rewriting the truth. You own the table. You made the game. You changed the rules. They are scattered. They are dethroned. They are scrambling. They are broken by the momentum you carry. And so you press on. You press on through noise, through doubt, through legacy, and through silence. You press on until your aura ignites others to press on, until they cannot help but stand unstoppable, until the tremors of your triumph ripple outward, until the foundation of impossible crumbles under the weight of proof, because you turn the tables, and now they're begging for a way out, but the way out is the same way through, the same unrelenting path you carved with every step you dared to take. Let that echo in your marrow. Let it push you through every late night, every whisper of maybe not, every gust of you don't deserve this. You do deserve this. You earned this. You live this. Let your movement be the message. Let your presence be the proclamation. Let your ascent be the legacy. And let them beg, let the world beg, for the gravity of you knows no bounds. Keep pressing, keep rising, keep shattering. They feel it in their bones even before they see you. Your shadow carries the weight of storms. Your silence speaks louder than any voice they've ever known. Your presence disrupts their illusions and crushes the old rules beneath your feet. You turn the tables, and now they watch as everything they once held sacred crumbles in the presence of your truth. There is no hiding from the force that is you, because you are no longer the version of yourself they thought they could predict, no longer the one they underestimated, no longer the quiet name written in the margins of their story. You are now the one who authors the story, and this time there is no room for their survival unless they learn to face the fire they lit and could never control. They whisper in corners now, their voices trembling, their alliances faltering, their confidence shattered. Once they believed they held control, once they believed they could shape your path, keep you boxed in, feed you limitations dressed as advice. They built walls but forgot who they were fencing in. They thought silence would break you, thought doubt would bury you, thought manipulation would dim your light. But what they failed to see was that every ounce of resistance, every moment of rejection, every act of betrayal was fuel. You took their stones and built your kingdom. You took their doubt and forged your sword. You took their silence and made it raw. They never expected the comeback to be this loud, this unrelenting, this permanent. And now they are not just defeated, they are erased by the momentum you bring. But hear this. It was never just about them. It was never just revenge or retribution. This was always about transformation. This was about the becoming. You turned the tables because you turned yourself inside out and rebuilt from the wreckage of who they said you had to be. You turned your scars into armor and your tears into ink, and you wrote your own story across the battlefield they tried to bury you in. You stood when it was easier to fall. You rose when it would have been easier to retreat. You kept walking when the path broke apart beneath your feet. That is power. That is why they beg now, because your strength is not borrowed. It was born from the ashes of expectation and grown from the soil of persistence. Let them look, let them stare, let them ache with the discomfort of their own reflection when it's cast through the brilliance of your rise, because you reflect back to them everything they tried to suppress. You are the truth they wanted to hide. You are the reminder they wish they could forget. You are the echo of every opportunity they wasted and every weakness they masked. They see you and they realize you are no longer the one asking for entry. You are the one who builds the doors. You are the one who holds the key. And if they cannot walk with you, they will be left behind in the dust of their own delay. Let this burn into your soul. You are not here to be accepted by the rules of the broken. You are here to bend them. You are here to turn tables. You are here to start fires where they built glass houses. You are here to leave footprints on ceilings they swore were untouchable. They underestimated your hunger. They didn't see what you saw. They didn't feel what you felt. They didn't know that every rejection became a reason. Every silence became a scream. Every locked door became a blueprint. And now they beg, because you are inevitable. You are unstoppable. You are undeniable. And I want you to remember this when the next obstacle stands before you, when the next voice questions your worth, when the next fear creeps in, pretending it belongs. You've already turned the tables. You've already done the unthinkable. You've already proved that their vision of you was far too small for the storm you were becoming. So when the next doubt whispers your name, respond with the full fury of your progress. Remind yourself of the rise. Remind yourself of the fire. Remind yourself that you are no longer in their story. You've written your own. Because people will doubt until they can't anymore. They'll watch from the shadows until your light burns too bright to ignore. They'll pretend you don't matter until their own silence begins to feel like guilt. And when that moment comes, and it will come, they will reach for you, not in support, but in desperation. Not to celebrate you, but to survive beside you. But you owe them nothing. You owe only to yourself and the fire that carried you through the dark. Keep walking, keep rising, keep building. There is no destination, only domination. There is no rest, only revelation. Because greatness is not a finish line. It is a mindset. It is a discipline. It is a hunger that never sleeps. Let the world see it. Let them feel it. Let them fear it. You turn the tables, and now you own the room. And no one can beg their way out of the truth you've become. Then let this be known in the marrow of your soul, in every breath you take, in every decision you make from this moment forward. You were not made for obedience to someone else's version of reality. You were made for something much more primal, much more sacred, much more defiant. You were made to break through ceilings that were sealed with the lies of small minds. You were made to break patterns passed down like shackles. You were made to crush images, false ones, that they tried to stitch around your identity like a prison suit. You shattered it. You turned the tables. And now, they're the ones cornered by the truth. They're the ones who can't sleep at night because they feel the presence of your power in the room, even when you're not there. This is not vengeance. This is legacy. This is not noise. This is thunder. You walked through their silence and came out roaring. You turned your wounds into wisdom. You turned your hunger into fuel. Every no became your map. Every exit became your entrance. And now they're gasping. They're clawing. They're praying for an escape route. Because they never imagined the rise would be you. You were not supposed to make it. You were not supposed to survive their indifference. You were not supposed to break the mold. But you didn't just survive. You transcended. You turned the very weight they threw on your shoulders into the throne you now sit on. They tried to bury you beneath expectation, and they grew a king. They tried to drown you in silence, and you became a wave. Don't you dare shrink now. Don't you dare make yourself smaller to ease their shame. They had their chance. They had the time to walk with you, to rise beside you, but they chose comfort while you chose pain. They chose doubt while you chose persistence. They chose imitation while you chose to become original. So now, the weight of your presence presses down on them like a sky they can't hold up. Let them feel it. Let them learn. Let them stare up at what you've become, because this is what happens when you refuse to give up on yourself. This is what happens when you decide that your name will no longer be a footnote in someone else's story. This is what happens when a soul sets fire to everything that tried to keep it cold. You became inevitable. And hear me, this power is not reserved for myth, not carved only for the elite. No, this power belongs to you, to those who dare, to those who dream and bleed and get back up with broken teeth and burning hearts. This power belongs to the ones who were mocked, overlooked, underestimated, and counted out. This power belongs to you. And if you feel even a flicker of fire inside as you read this, if something deep inside you is screaming, "This is me," then don't wait. Don't waste another moment watching someone else light the sky. Be the blaze. You turned the tables once, do it again. Do it in silence. Do it in darkness. Do it when they're not watching, and again when they are. Let them beg, because they will. Let them regret, because they must. You are not here to please them. You are here to replace them. You are here to raise the standards so high they choke on their own comfort. You are here to turn heads, change rooms, rip the hinges off limits, and tear down the lies they told about people like you. They said you were too late. You became timeless. They said you were too much. You became legend. They said you were finished. You began. And you are just getting started. Let this chapter be a warning and a promise. To them, you will never hold me again. To yourself, I will never fall back into their cage. Keep pushing. Keep moving. Let your grind make noise. Let your discipline shake the foundation of every system that didn't expect you to arrive. Let your name be heavy in their mouths. Let your story become the storm they fear when the wind changes. Because you didn't just turn the tables. You set them on fire and built new ones from the ashes. And if you feel that right now, if you know in your gut that this is the path you were born to walk, then walk it with fire in your eyes and iron in your spine. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You already have what they can never touch: undeniability. And when that lives in your bones, when you become the proof they swore didn't exist, there is no going back. There is no begging their way out of the reality you created. Let them witness it. Let them feel it. Let them live in the shadow of the power you became, because you didn't ask for their throne. You built your own. Then let it rise, this final surge, like the end of a storm that rewrites the very shape of the world. Because you didn't come this far to pause. You didn't rise this high just to rest. You didn't break all the rules to become cautious now. No, you turned the tables, and now you burn them down behind you. You close the path they once walked with you, not out of vengeance, but because you've outgrown the very soil you once shared. You've become the fire that purifies. You've become the thunder that awakens. And now there is no going back. The version of you that once begged for their approval no longer exists. The version of you that waited in silence is gone. The version of you that played small so others could feel tall was buried in the ashes of your past. What stands now is unstoppable, built not from borrowed belief or temporary hype, but from the long, cold, lonely nights when no one clapped and you kept going anyway. Built from the silence that almost broke you but never could. Built from the doubts you turned into fuel and the pain you folded into armor. You turned the tables and now they sit across from you, not with power, but with fear. Not with pride, but with regret. You were once the one who looked up to them. Now they can't even meet your eyes, because they know. They know they laughed too early. They know they doubted too easily. They know they turned their back when you needed belief the most. And now, they can't keep up. They can't hold on. They're begging for a way out of the very structure they helped build. The image they once polished, curated, paraded. It's been shattered under the pressure of your rise. They can't fix it. They can't hide behind it. You crushed their entire image, not out of cruelty, but because truth walks taller than illusion ever could. You are no longer in competition with them. You are in contrast. Where they settle, you ascend. Where they hesitate, you strike. Where they mimic, you innovate. And that's the difference. They tried to walk your path only after you cleared it, but they were never built to survive the terrain. Because you bled for this, you crawled for this, you nearly broke for this. But you kept showing up. You kept moving. And now, every scar on your body, every tear you buried, every night you doubted yourself, it's all proof. Proof that you were always the one. The tables have turned. You're not here to apologize. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. And legends don't ask for space. They take it. Legends don't wait for permission. They carve it. Legends don't shrink to fit the frame. They smash the frame and build something unforgettable. You did that. You're doing that. And every second you keep moving forward, their world of fragile pride crumbles further beneath the weight of your becoming. So rise higher. Rise without guilt. Rise without hesitation. Rise without looking back. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them whisper. Because whispers are all they have left. You own the thunder now. You own the volume. You own the spotlight they once said was too big for you. They thought their rejection would end you, but it only redirected you to purpose. They thought their silence would erase you, but it only pushed you into places their words could never reach. And now, the world knows your name, not because they handed it to you, but because you took it from the ashes and made it shine. And listen closely. There will always be more. More people who don't believe. More voices that say you've gone too far. More resistance. More fire. But the difference now You know who you are. You know what you carry. You know the weight of what you've overcome. So you welcome the fire. You demand the challenge. You dare the world to try to stop you because you've already proven they can't. This is not your peak. This is not your limit. This is not the final chapter. It's the beginning of your reign. It's the start of your era. The moment the world stopped waiting for someone else to rise and realized it was you all along. Every room you walk into from this moment on will feel different, not because the room changed, but because you did. You walk with power now, with purpose, with a story written in blood and fire that no one can ever take from you. So keep going, keep building, keep crushing every image that was never yours to begin with. Let them beg, let them stumble, let them drown in the doubt they once fed you. You've turned the tables and now you decide who eats. And to every single soul reading this who feels it in their chest, who knows they're built for more, subscribe, like, comment, now. Not for me, for you. Because this isn't just a speech, it's a spark. It's the moment you stop hesitating and start becoming. It's the moment you draw the line and say, I rise, I lead, I build. No one is coming to give you the green light. You are the green light. So stand up, show up, and make sure your voice adds to the fire. We don't move alone. We rise as a force. You, me, and every other soul that dares to dream loudly in a world that prefers silence. Click subscribe, like, comment, and let the world know you're not afraid to become who you were born to be. Because they tried to write your ending, but you turned the tables. And now they're begging for a way out, and you're just getting started. Hello audience, welcome back. It's time to look deeper into a truth many of us ignore. A truth that resonates with every step we take in life. We all have our battles, our struggles, and sometimes we feel as though we are trapped in a maze of our own making. Life seems to build walls around us, challenges that appear insurmountable, as if every decision we make leads us into a dead end, pushing us further into a corner. But what if I told you that this maze, the one that seems like a trap, was not built to keep you stuck? What if I told you that the maze they built, the one that limits your potential, is only a stepping stone? And what if I told you that despite their best efforts, you found the shortcut? That's right, you found a way out, a way through, a way to take control. It's a hard truth to accept, because we have been taught all our lives that life is about struggle, that success is only for those who endure the pain, who suffer through the trials. And so we walk through the maze, step after step, grinding through obstacles, believing we are trapped. We think we are cursed to wander, doomed to follow the same path with no way out. We start to lose hope, thinking that all our efforts are in vain. But the reality is far different. The truth is that life is not about following a set path. It's not about blindly walking the course laid out for you by others. You see, they built the maze, but they didn't build it for you to stay in it. They built it because they thought you would never figure out how to escape. They believed you would be too weak, too comfortable, too scared of the unknown to break free. But that's where they made their mistake. They underestimated you. They forgot one thing. They cannot control your mind, your will, your determination. They cannot predict how far you're willing to go to claim your freedom. You are not trapped. You are not bound by their rules, by their limitations. No. You are the one who gets to decide how far you will go. When everyone else is lost, confused, and wandering aimlessly, you will be the one who sees the path they missed. You will be the one who finds the shortcut. the path that no one else could see, because you were willing to look deeper, to push further, to risk it all. While the world is caught in a never-ending loop of confusion, you will break free and soar above the walls they built around you. But let's be clear about something. Finding the shortcut doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that the journey ahead will be any less difficult. No, it will be harder than anything you faced before, because now you are no longer following the path. You are forging your own. The maze was built to keep you within its confines, to force you to follow the rules. But the shortcut is where you take control of your fate, where you stop playing by their rules and start creating your own. You might be scared. I know you are. Fear is a constant companion when you step into the unknown. But let me tell you this, that fear you feel is not there to stop you. It's there to challenge you, to make sure you are serious about taking this shortcut. It's a test, and the only question is, will you answer it? Will you face the fear head on and keep moving forward? Will you allow the darkness to consume you, or will you rise above it, showing the world what you're truly made of? You see, the maze they built was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. It was meant to push you to the point where you would have no choice but to grow, to evolve, to find that shortcut. And now that you've found it, now that you've discovered that you don't need to follow the same path, the same struggles as everyone else, the real test begins, because now you have to walk the path of your own making. There are no guarantees, no promises. You will be alone at times. There will be no cheering crowds, no accolades, no applause. It will just be you and the shortcut and the journey you must take. When everyone else is lost, when they are struggling to find their way, you will be the one who walks with purpose. While they keep moving in circles, you will be ahead, and you will watch them, still trapped in the maze they believe they cannot escape, while you push forward into a new world. But understand this, the shortcut is not for the faint of heart. The world will challenge you. It will throw obstacles in your way that seem impossible to overcome. It will try to force you back into the maze, to make you doubt your choice. It will tell you that you cannot succeed, that you are not strong enough, not smart enough. It will try to make you question everything. But remember this, you found the shortcut because you are capable. You found it because you have what it takes to rise above. The world is not going to hand you anything. No one is going to congratulate you for finding the shortcut, for breaking free from the maze. But that's okay, because this journey was never about seeking validation. It was about claiming your own power, your own destiny. When you find the shortcut, you are no longer bound by anyone else's expectations. You are no longer trapped by their limitations. You are free. And that freedom, that's what they fear. They fear what will happen when you realize you don't need the maze anymore. They fear what will happen when you start to live on your own terms, when you stop letting others dictate your path. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? They built the maze thinking it would contain you, but it only created a warrior. It only made you stronger, smarter, sharper. It only made you realize that you're capable of far more than they ever gave you credit for. So don't stop now. Don't get comfortable. Keep moving forward. The shortcut you found is not the end of your journey. It's only the beginning. The path ahead is uncertain, but it's yours to take. No one else can walk it for you. No one else can tell you how far you can go. You are the master of your own fate. And as long as you stay true to that, there is no maze in the world that can ever trap you again. Remember this, they built the maze, but you found the shortcut. And that's the most powerful thing you will ever know. You are not defined by the walls they built around you. You are defined by your ability to break free, to rise above, and to forge your own path. So go ahead, walk that path, and let the world watch as you rise. Because when you rise, when you break free, when you walk the path that no one else dares to walk, the world will take notice. They will see that you've become something they never expected. You will no longer be just another face in the crowd, another nameless, faceless figure wandering the maze. Number. You will become something more, something that others can't help but respect, something that will inspire. But let me make one thing clear. This journey will not be easy. It will never be easy. Life will throw obstacles at you that will seem impossible to overcome. There will be moments when you will question everything you've done. There will be moments when you will wonder whether it was worth it to take that shortcut. The weight of doubt will bear down on your shoulders, and it will feel like the world is conspiring against you. In those moments, it will feel like the walls are closing in, and you'll wonder whether it would have been easier to just stay in the maze. But let me tell you this, those moments are the test. They are the moments when you will either choose to stand tall or fall back into the comfort of what is familiar. And that is the hardest decision you will ever make. The shortcut you found, that path that no one else saw, was never meant to be the easy road. It was meant to be the road that challenges you to rise above your limitations. It was meant to take you to the edge of your strength, your will, your power, and force you to confront the deepest parts of yourself. When you're standing on the edge of doubt, on the precipice of failure, that is when you will discover who you really are. It's in those moments that you'll realize whether you have the strength to keep pushing, to keep moving forward. You won't be able to rely on anyone else's validation, anyone else's approval. The shortcut requires you to dig deep within yourself and find the courage, the resilience, and the determination to keep going when everything else tells you to stop. This is where the true journey begins. The shortcut you discovered was only the gateway, the opening to a new chapter. But now, you are the one who must walk through it. You are the one who must take each step with conviction, with purpose, even when the world tells you it's not possible. When they laugh at your ambitions, when they tell you that you're foolish to believe you can rise above, that is when you must stand taller than ever. Because the only thing standing between you and greatness is the belief that you can achieve it. And if you don't believe in yourself, then no one else will. When you take the shortcut, you're not just taking a path that others can't see. You're taking a path that will require you to become the best version of yourself. The world may have built a maze of limitations, but you found a shortcut because you have something special. You have vision, you have determination, and most importantly, you have the power to make choices. Every single choice you make from this point on will determine who you become. It's not about where you've come from, what you've been through, or what anyone else thinks of you. It's about where you choose to go and what you choose to become. If you want to rise above the maze, if you want to be more than what the world expects of you, then you must act with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward in spite of it. When you found that shortcut, when you took that first step towards your freedom, you didn't know what would happen next. You didn't know how the world would react, what would be waiting for you, or how difficult the road would be. But you stepped forward anyway. You embraced the uncertainty. You chose to trust in yourself. And that is what will carry you through every storm, every challenge, every obstacle that stands in your way. The shortcut requires that you never settle for mediocrity. The maze they built was designed to keep you small, to keep you average, to keep you within the bounds of what's comfortable. But comfort does not create greatness. Comfort does not create transformation. If you want to rise, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to push past the fears, the doubts, the limitations that have held you back for so long. The maze is where everyone else is playing it safe, where everyone else is afraid to take risks. But the shortcut, that's where the bold go. That's where the warriors go. That's where those who are willing to risk it all, who are willing to bet on themselves, find their destiny. And when you find that shortcut, when you choose to take it, you will understand that the true power lies not in the destination, but in the journey. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, will mold you into someone unrecognizable. You will become stronger, sharper, more resilient. The more you push through, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. You will start to see the world differently. What once seemed like barriers will become challenges to conquer. What once seemed like walls will become stepping stones. And when the world tells you that you can't go any further, that's when you'll know you're getting closer. Because the shortcut is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who are willing to risk everything to create the life they've always dreamed of. But remember this, it's not just about finding the shortcut, it's about what you do with it once you find it. There are many who have found a shortcut and squandered it because they lacked the discipline, the focus, or the commitment to see it through. Just because you found the shortcut doesn't mean the journey will be easy. It's going to require everything you have. You must put in the work. You must stay disciplined. You must stay focused. You must be willing to sacrifice the comfort of the maze to create the life that others only dream of. And that is where most people fail. Most people will find the shortcut and then hesitate. They will question themselves. They will doubt the path they've chosen. They will see others around them stuck in the maze and wonder whether it would be easier to go back, to follow the crowd. They will start to lose faith in themselves. They will look for excuses to stop. But that's when you have to dig deeper. That's when you have to remind yourself why you chose the shortcut in the first place. You didn't choose it because it was easy. You chose it because you wanted something more. You chose it because you wanted to rise above. And in those moments of doubt, when the world seems to conspire against you, that's when you must hold firm to your vision. You see, the real power of the shortcut is that it separates you from the crowd. It forces you to face your fears head on, to confront the parts of yourself that you've tried to ignore. And it's in those moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, when the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders, that you will either rise or fall. The shortcut is not just a path to success, it's a path to self-mastery. It's a path to understanding who you are, what you're capable of, and how far you can really go. But here's the thing, the shortcut is only available to those who are willing to fight for it. You have to fight against your own doubts, your own fears, and the voices that tell you it's not worth it. You have to fight against the pressures of society, the expectations of others, and the limitations that the world tries to impose on you. The maze they built is designed to make you conform, to make you stay small, to make you play by their rules. But the shortcut is where you make your own rules. It's where you decide who you will be. It's where you take control of your destiny and refuse to let anyone stand in your way. So, I challenge you now. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't rise above. You found the shortcut because you have what it takes to break free. You found it because you're strong enough to face whatever comes your way. And now, it's time to prove it. It's time to rise above the maze and let the world watch as you become the person they never expected. Keep moving forward. Keep pushing. Keep breaking through. And no matter what happens, remember this. They built the maze, but you found the shortcut. And that's all that matters. You found the shortcut. They built the maze, but you discovered the route that no one else could see. The path that led you to your destiny. When you made that choice, when you dared to step away from the maze that was designed to contain you. You took the first step towards something bigger than anyone could have imagined. The maze may have been constructed to break you, to hold you down, but the shortcut, that unexpected path, was meant to show you that you were never meant to be ordinary. You were always destined for something more. People often talk about fate, destiny, and luck. They speak of these things as though they are out of our control, as if we are helpless to their whims. But what they don't understand is that destiny is not a matter of waiting for something to happen to you. It's a matter of creating your own fate. You see, destiny isn't a path that is laid out for you by someone else. It's the trail you blaze, the steps you take in defiance of the maze, the willingness to walk down the road that scares everyone else away. The shortcut is not just a symbol of your ability to rise above. It is proof that you have the power to take control, to carve out your own future in this world, and no one can take that from you. When you begin to realize this, when you truly understand the magnitude of the shortcut you've found, your perspective on life changes. The things that once seemed so important, the things that used to weigh you down, no longer hold the same weight. The shortcuts are not just a way to bypass the challenges. They are a revelation of how much power you truly have to rewrite the story of your life. And this is where most people fail. They find a shortcut, but get caught up in fear, in doubt, in the comfort of staying where they are. They see the path in front of them, but are too afraid to walk it, too afraid to embrace the unknown. But you walked it. You took the step when it mattered, and you opened the door to a life they never believed possible. Every moment, every choice you've made to walk this path has been a choice to embrace uncertainty, to take ownership of your journey. That is a power few people ever truly realize. Everyone else remains stuck in their maze, trapped by their own fear, their own doubt, their own insecurities. The world will tell you that the maze is the only way. It will tell you that there are no shortcuts, that you must follow the same rules, the same steps, the same prescribed path that everyone else has followed. But you know the truth. The truth is that there is always another way. There is always a shortcut, a way out, a route that will lead you to a place that others can only dream of. And it is this truth that gives you power, the power to create, to change, and to rise. When you walk the shortcut, when you move past the boundaries that others have accepted as their limits, you enter a new realm of possibility. You are no longer confined by the norms of society or the rules they have set for you. You are no longer just another player in the game. You become the game changer. You become the person who has the courage to challenge the status quo, to defy the limits placed on you, and to create something entirely new. And this is where your power lies. This is where your greatness emerges. When you begin to operate in the space of infinite possibility, when you understand that you have the power to shape your own destiny. But don't misunderstand this. The shortcut is not a guarantee. It's not an easy path to success or fulfillment. Far from it. The shortcut is a tool, a vehicle to get you from where you are to where you want to go. But it will require everything from you. It will demand your courage, your persistence, your resilience, and your unwavering belief that you are worthy of the greatness that awaits you. The shortcut won't hand you success. It will only lead you to the threshold. You will have to walk through that threshold, and when you do, you will encounter challenges, doubts, and resistance. But here's the thing. You've already shown yourself that you have the ability to overcome those challenges. You've already proven that you can defy the odds, that you can find the way when everyone else is lost. You've already conquered the hardest part, stepping into the unknown. What comes next is a test of your will. The shortcut is a reflection of your ability to break free from the confines of the ordinary. But now you must prove it to yourself. You must continue to walk with purpose, to walk with conviction, and to walk with the knowledge that you've already made it further than anyone ever expected. The maze is still there. It still exists. The world will continue to try and push you back into it. But you are not the same person you were when you first entered. The person you were when you started the journey is gone. You've evolved, you've learned, and you've grown into someone who can walk confidently on the path that others fear to tread. That is the power of the shortcut. Now, it's time to go even further. You've already broken free of the maze, but what comes next is the most important part of the journey. The shortcut leads you to freedom, but it's what you do with that freedom that matters. You can't just stand still. You can't rest on your laurels and expect things to fall into place. The shortcut gave you an opportunity, but now you must make the most of it. You have to use it to create something extraordinary. You must use the space you've carved out for yourself to make your mark on the world. This is where the real work begins. When you've found the shortcut, you have the privilege of stepping outside of the ordinary. You have the privilege of being different, of thinking differently, of doing things that others can't or won't. And that's a power that most people can't even imagine. To live outside the maze is to embrace the freedom of possibility. It is to create your own vision, to chart your own course, and to build the life that you've always dreamed of. But here's the most important truth I want you to take away from this. The shortcut does not give you permission to stop. It doesn't give you permission to relax or become complacent. The shortcut is a challenge. It's a challenge to do more, to push further, to reach higher, and to never stop believing in your ability to create the life you want. It's easy to get lost in the maze, to fall into the trap of thinking that everything is out of your control, that you have no power over your circumstances. But you've proven that wrong. You've already shown that you have the power to find the shortcut, to defy the odds, and to break free. And now, you must use that power to keep moving forward. Every single person who has ever achieved anything truly great has faced the temptation to stop. They've faced moments where the path seemed too hard, too long, or too uncertain. They've had moments of doubt, moments where they wondered if the struggle was worth it. But what separates those who rise from those who fall is their refusal to quit. It is their commitment to moving forward, no matter how difficult the road becomes, no matter how many obstacles lie in their way. They know that the only way to fail is to stop trying. They know that the shortcut they found is just the beginning of an even greater journey. And now, it's your turn. You've already taken the hardest step. You've already proven to yourself that you are capable of greatness. You've already shown that you have the power to break free from the maze and find your own path. Now, it's time to show the world what happens when someone walks that path with purpose, with determination, and with a heart full of belief in themselves. The maze may have been built to hold you down, but you've risen above it. And that is the legacy you will leave behind. That is the story you will tell. So, don't ever stop. Don't ever doubt your ability to keep rising. Because the world may have built the maze, but you found the shortcut. And that's all that matters. In the end, the maze they built was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal your strength. You found the shortcut because you dared to believe in your own power, to rise above the limitations placed upon you. And now, you walk a path that few have the courage to take. Remember this: your journey is not defined by the maze, but by the choices you make to break free from it. So continue moving forward, keep pushing the boundaries, and let the world witness your rise, because you've already proven that you are unstoppable. The shortcut was just the beginning, and now you hold the power to create a future greater than anyone ever imagined. Keep going. beast of the storm. Yes, you, not the fragile one they expected, not the shadow they ignored, not the discarded name whispered behind closed doors, but the force, the eruption, the reckoning. You walked into a world that tried to bury you beneath its weight, tried to chain you with its doubts, tried to laugh you into silence. They underestimated the coldness you were born in, the pain that molded your will, the nights that carved hunger into your bones. You didn't survive what they threw at you. No, you devoured it. The world thought you were weak because you were quiet. They mistook your patience for surrender. They misread your scars as signs of defeat. But tonight, you're not just alive, you are rising. And they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to explain what you've become, because you didn't just prove them wrong, you humiliated them. If this hits something deep inside you, that fire, that ache, that wound you never show, then don't just watch this. Let it become you. Hit that subscribe, smash that like. Not for me, but for you. For the broken child still raging in your chest. For the dream that was laughed at in front of you. For the hours no one saw. For the voice that shook but never stopped speaking. You owe yourself this moment. You deserve to hear your own story screamed into the night like a war cry. So let this be the anthem for those who were written off, burned, mocked, doubted, and still stood up with blood in their mouth and a grin on their face. This is for you. This is you. They all had their stories about you, didn't they? Whispered like rumors, passed like currency. He won't make it, they said. She's too soft, they laughed. They'll never last, they sneered. But those same voices now choke on your name. They scroll through your life trying to make sense of what they missed. They search for excuses, call it luck, say the system was rigged, anything but admit that they were wrong. You shattered their predictions. You weren't just the underdog, you were the hidden threat, the secret storm, the quiet weapon. And now they sit in silence, watching you do what they said could never be done. Watching you win. They can't unsee it. Your rise, your victory, your vengeance. Because it was vengeance, wasn't it? Let's not pretend it was just personal growth or inner peace. No. This was war. Every insult, every smirk, every backhanded compliment. You remembered, and you sharpened it. You let it cut you open, and you bled purpose. You didn't forgive. You transformed. And now you walk like a myth they swore didn't exist. A legend written in scars, inked in persistence. The very air shifts when you enter, and they feel it, the weight of what they never saw coming. This isn't just about proving them wrong. That's too polite, too clean. This is about disgracing their certainty. You humiliated their logic, their mockery, their assumptions. You burned their predictions in front of them and made them eat the ash. You made them remember who you are. Not by screaming louder, but by working in silence, by hurting in silence, by building in silence. And then you walked out, not asking for applause, but demanding silence, because your success hurts them, and it should. They thought you'd break. They were sure of it, because that's what people like them do. They project their own limits onto others. They look at you and see what they fear. So when you started climbing, they tried to pull you down. They tried to distract you, humiliate you, isolate you. But you learned to climb alone. You learned to fall alone. And then you learned how to rise higher than they ever thought possible. Now, they have to live with it, with the fact that you didn't just rise. You towered over everything they stood on. Your name is the echo they can't silence. You became everything they couldn't understand. A creature of obsession, of grit, of violent self-belief. You didn't wait to be discovered. You created yourself, in the dark, while they slept, while they laughed, while they dismissed you. You became something terrifying, not because you sought revenge, but because you became undeniable. Because now, when they look in the mirror, they see what they never could be. You. Let's be honest. You didn't do it just to feel better. You did it to burn. You did it so that when they looked at your life, they'd ache. You did it so they'd sit in rooms and whisper, "We were wrong about them." You did it so their friends would ask, "Weren't you the one who said they'd fail?" You did it so that every time they hear your name, their stomach twists. That's not bitterness. That's reality. That's what happens when a wolf survives the hunt and comes back wearing the skin of the hunter. You aren't humble about this. You shouldn't be. This isn't the time for humility. This is the time to own it, to wear the crown made from their broken expectations. You earned this through hell, through hunger, through betrayal, through silence, through nights you almost gave up, but you didn't. And that matters. That means something. Because now, you are the nightmare they accidentally created, the legend their cruelty gave birth to. You are the aftermath of their arrogance. They can't erase you now. You're etched into the timeline. Your success is louder than their doubts ever were. Your presence haunts them. Not because you rubbed it in, but because they know they tried to stop you. They know they wanted you to fail. And yet, here you are, standing, thriving, dominating. You are the scar they gave themselves. And you know what hurts them the most? That you didn't need them. That you didn't crawl back. That you didn't beg for validation. You built your own kingdom and locked the gates. Now they watch from outside, shivering in the cold, wondering what it feels like to matter. But they never will, because they chose mockery over faith, doubt over belief, jealousy over support. And now they get to feel what you felt, but without the strength to carry it. So don't be kind about your victory. Let it glow. Let it shine like a wound made of gold. Let it be the proof that silence is sometimes the loudest scream. And when they look at you, smile. Because you know what they don't. They needed you to lose, but you needed to endure. And endurance always wins. This was never about talent, never about being the best. It was about refusing to stay dead. It was about dragging yourself out of the grave they dug for you and building an empire on top of it. You weren't born a champion. You became one in the furnace of everyone's doubt, in the slaughterhouse of lost confidence, in the graveyard of you'll never make it. And now you own the battlefield. You humiliated them, not just with success, but with silence, with discipline, with elegance. You never had to scream. You let your life scream for you. Every late night, every quiet yes to yourself, every painful decision, every moment you held your tongue while your hands built your dream. That's what humiliates them, the fact that you were better than their hate, stronger than their fear, louder than their noise, without ever raising your voice. So hold your head high, let them talk, let them scramble for explanations, let them compare and spiral and drown in the reality they can't accept. And don't you dare shrink, don't you dare apologize. You were built for this, born for this, forged for this. You didn't just prove them wrong, you humiliated them. And you're not even done yet. Because here's the cruel truth nobody ever tells you. The moment you humiliate your doubters, the moment you surpass their wildest nightmares about you, is the moment the war inside doesn't stop. It only gets louder. The hunger doesn't die, it becomes insatiable. You find yourself standing alone at the summit, but instead of peace, there is only the echo of every scar, every betrayal, every sleepless night you carried like a secret weapon. The world thought this would break you. It didn't. Instead, it sharpened you. You became a blade forged in darkness, cutting through every lie they told about you, every shadow cast over your dreams. And the truth is, that blade never dulls. You keep moving, you keep proving, because once you've tasted that kind of victory, anything less is poison. This humiliation you dealt them, this tearing down of their arrogance, it's not a final act. It's a beginning of a story they will never be allowed to forget. A story that is written not in the ink of convenience, but in the blood of relentless determination. You're the living contradiction to every doubt they ever harbored. You are the nightmare of every excuse they ever made. You don't owe them an explanation, because the silence of your success is the loudest explanation. They wanted you to break, crumble, disappear into the background. But you rewrote that ending. You didn't just walk through their fire, you became the fire. And now they stare, wide-eyed, desperate for the chance to understand how you did it. But understanding is a luxury reserved for those who never had to fight. You know the truth. The fight was brutal. The fight was lonely. The fight was the kind that steals sleep, steals sanity, steals everything. But it cannot steal your will. It cannot steal your heart. You carried the weight of their disbelief and transformed it into wings. You soared while they remained earthbound, shackled by their fear of what you might become. Their doubt was your fuel, their mockery your grindstone, and every time you felt like giving up, you chose to rise. This isn't just motivation. This is a manifesto, a declaration for every soul who has ever been cast aside, ignored, or made to feel less than. This is the anthem of the broken who refuse to stay broken, the lost who become leaders, the weak who become warriors. You didn't just survive the darkness, you owned it. You looked into the abyss and told it, "You don't own me." And because of that, your story is no longer just yours. It's a beacon for anyone who's ever been told they weren't enough. You've turned their disbelief into your victory, their laughter into your crown. But be warned, the path you've chosen is not a gentle one. Because now, every new challenge you face will be met with the memory of what you've already conquered. You can't retreat to the comfort of the familiar anymore. The world expects more from you, demands more from you, and inside, the fire that humiliated your past enemies demands more too. It whispers that the best revenge is to keep going, to keep building, to keep dominating, to keep showing up when everyone else has quit, to remind them every single day that you are not a mistake, that you are the storm they never saw coming. So when they tell you you're lucky, smile, because luck is for the weak. You earned everything with sweat and pain and nights so dark you thought you'd never see morning. You earned your place with scars they'll never understand, with battles they'll never witness. You earned it with a hunger so fierce it swallowed every excuse, every doubt, every attempt to stop you. And now, you stand tall, a living monument to the power of relentless will. And if you ever feel the pull to stop, to rest, to turn back, remember who you were when they wrote you off. Remember the faces that looked down on you and the voices that said you'd fail. Remember the tears you hid, the moments you fought to keep going when the world was against you. Remember that you didn't just prove them wrong, you humiliated them. And that humiliation is a legacy you carry with pride. It's a fire that will never go out. It's a voice that will never be silenced. It's a truth that will never be denied. Keep moving forward. Keep fighting. Keep proving them wrong again and again and again. Because this is your story and no one gets to rewrite it but you. And no matter what happens next, you have already won the war they thought they started. They say the night is darkest just before the dawn, but you became the night. You became the darkness that no dawn could ever fully pierce. You embraced the cold silence, the crushing weight of doubt, the suffocating loneliness, and from it, you forged a power so fierce it scares even the bravest souls. You weren't born with this strength. No one handed it to you. You stole it from the jaws of despair. You wrestled it free from the depths where most would have drowned. And now you carry it like armor, not to protect you from the world, but to remind the world who dared to bury you alive. They thought you'd rot underground, forgotten and useless. Instead, you grew roots that cracked the very ground beneath their feet. You didn't just humiliate their judgment, you humiliated their entire belief system. The comfortable lies they told themselves about you, the lazy assumptions they made, the way they underestimated the fire in your soul, all of it has been laid bare by your triumph. Every success of yours is a slap in the face to their certainty, a challenge to their complacency. And that's why they hate it. That's why they can't look away. Because you became the proof that they were wrong. Not just a little wrong, but catastrophically, humiliatingly wrong. And let's be clear, this isn't about revenge or malice. This is about justice. The justice of proving that your worth was never dependent on their approval. The justice of living a life so rich and powerful that their doubt becomes irrelevant noise in the background. The justice of transforming pain into pride, weakness into unbreakable strength, silence into a deafening roar that echoes through the halls of every place that ever rejected you. Look back for a moment, if you dare. Look back at every time you were told you couldn't, that you shouldn't, that you wouldn't. Look at those moments and see what they truly were. Fuel. They were the gasoline you needed to ignite the inferno inside you. They were the stones in your path, meant to trip you, but instead, they became your stepping stones. Every insult, every slight, every whispered doubt, they were not weights dragging you down. They were weights you lifted, one by one, and turned into trophies of your rise. And now that you stand here, towering over the ruins of their expectations, you understand something fundamental. The greatest humiliation isn't just winning. It's doing so with grace, with quiet strength, with a calm that unnerves them more than any outburst could. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to brag to be noticed. Your life is your voice. Your achievements are your statement. Your resilience is your legacy. Remember this, the people who doubted you are trapped in their own minds, prisoners of their own fear and limitation. They're the ones stuck in a cycle of small thinking, unable to escape the chains they place on themselves. You, on the other hand, are free. Free because you refuse to accept the world's definition of you. Free because you broke every barrier they built to cage you. Free because your spirit is wild, unrelenting, and unapologetically hungry for more. So hold your head higher. Walk with a confidence that comes from knowing you've faced the abyss and stared it down without flinching. Let your presence be a constant reminder that you are the nightmare of every doubter, the contradiction to every naysayer, the victory that none of them saw coming. Because you didn't just survive their judgment, you thrived in spite of it. And that is the most savage, most beautiful form of revenge. But beware, this journey never ends. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you grow complacent, You give them a crack to sneak back in. You owe it to yourself to keep the fire burning, to keep challenging every limit, to keep turning every no into a new mountain. You'll climb higher than before. Because the real power lies not just in winning once, but in never letting anyone forget who you are, what you stand for, and how far you've come. You are not here by accident. You are here because you were meant to rise, because you were meant to break the mold, shatter expectations, and rewrite the story that everyone thought was already written. You are the chaos they feared, the storm they prayed wouldn't come, the silence before the roar. You are the living proof that some souls are too wild to be tamed, too fierce to be ignored, too relentless to be defeated. So keep your fire burning, keep your spirit unbroken, and keep humiliating the doubts that tried to define you. Because every day you live your truth, every day you rise above their noise, every day you prove their darkest assumptions wrong. You remind the world, and more importantly yourself, that you are unstoppable, and no one will ever be able to take that away from you. So here you stand, not as a victim, not as a shadow, but as the storm itself. Every scar on your body, every wound you carry, is proof that you survived the impossible. They tried to write your story for you, tried to bury your truth beneath layers of doubt and mockery, but you refused to be silenced. You shattered their expectations so violently that what remains is more than just proof. It's a declaration that you are not what they predicted, not what they hoped, but something far greater. You became the nightmare that haunts their complacency, the legend that outshines their disbelief. And this is your moment, the moment you claim not just victory, but domination over every voice that said you'd fail. Never forget the power of your journey. It's not the trophies or the accolades that define you, but the relentless fire inside that refused to die, even when the world told you to give up. That fire is your true crown, the only thing that no one can ever take from you. You didn't just prove them wrong, you humiliated the very foundation of their doubt. Every step you took forward was a step through their walls of disbelief, tearing down every limitation they forced upon you. And while they continue to wonder how you did it, you know the truth. It was never about luck, talent, or favor. It was about refusing to stay broken, refusing to accept less than your worth, and having the courage to become the force they never imagined. But this is not the end. This is the crucible that forges you into something even greater, because the fire that humiliated your past enemies now fuels your future. You will face new challenges, harder battles, and deeper darkness. Yet you will face them with the same unbreakable spirit, the same ferocity, and the same ruthless determination. You don't stop here, and you don't slow down. Because true power is not just in rising once, it is in rising again and again, each time stronger, more defiant, and more unstoppable than before. Let them watch in disbelief. Let them whisper and wonder. You are proof that limits are illusions, and doubt is the fuel of the relentless. So hold your head high and wear your scars like armor, because you earned every single one. You are the living proof that what they said about you was a lie you didn't just disprove, but obliterated. You didn't just win their battles, you humiliated their certainty. And as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep breaking the chains of expectation, you will remain the force they feared and the champion you were always meant to be. This is your legacy, your war cry, your truth, and no one will ever silence it again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You've arrived at a turning point, a place where success is no longer a matter of luck, or circumstance, but of deliberate action. This moment right here is yours to command. You fought for it, struggled for it, and bled for it. You have stood face to face with obstacles that were meant to break you. Yet here you are, not just standing tall, but dominating. The game has changed, and you, my friends, are the ones who have flipped it. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they had control. But now, as they watch from a distance, it is them who are drowning in the chaos they once tried to impose upon you. Now, they are the ones losing. When you began this journey, they underestimated you. They thought you were just another face in the crowd, another soul who would fade into the background. They believed that their power, their resources, and their influence would crush you before you even had the chance to step into the arena. But they didn't know you. They didn't know the fire that burned inside you, the determination that kept you pushing forward when all seemed lost. They didn't know that you would not just play the game, you would rewrite the rules entirely. The truth is, they were so consumed with their own sense of superiority that they never saw you coming. They were blinded by their arrogance, too busy making plans for your downfall to even consider that you might be planning something bigger. They assumed their position at the top was unshakable, that no one could ever challenge their dominance. But you were never about taking the easy path. You were never about doing things the way they wanted you to. You took the long road, the one that required sacrifice and grit. You embraced every struggle, every hardship, and turned it into the strength you needed to rise. You were ready when the moment came to take control. They watched, clueless, as you began to shift the tides. Every move you made, every decision you took, it was calculated. Every setback you experienced became a lesson that fueled your desire to push further. You were patient, waiting for the right time to strike. And when that time came, you moved like lightning. You flipped the game on them with precision, using their own arrogance against them. They didn't even know what hit them. They thought they were in charge, but all along, it was you who held the power. It was you who controlled the narrative. It was you who had been writing your story all along, one move at a time. Now, as you stand in this moment of victory, they are scrambling. The tables have turned, and the very forces they relied on are crumbling beneath their feet. The empire they built is eroding, piece by piece, as you carve your own path to success. They are left watching in disbelief as everything they thought they controlled slips away, slipping through their fingers like sand. They are the ones losing now. The very thing they feared most has come to pass. You've outsmarted them, outworked them, and now you're taking the crown. But here's the thing. Don't expect them to admit defeat. Don't expect them to congratulate you or acknowledge your brilliance. They never will. Their pride is too great, and their ego is too fragile. Instead, they will try to tear you down. They will try to make you doubt yourself. They will attempt to create new obstacles in your path, new challenges to break you. But what they don't realize is that they no longer have the power to stop you. They don't hold the keys to your success anymore. You've taken that from them, and now you control your own destiny. They may still try to play the game, but their moves will be clumsy and desperate. They'll make mistakes that they never would have made before, because they no longer understand the game the way they once did. You flipped the script, and they're left trying to follow a playbook that no longer applies. You've exposed their weaknesses, and now it's their turn to deal with the consequences of their own ignorance and pride. It's not just a victory for you, it's a lesson they will never forget. The game has changed, and they will be left to watch as you continue to rise. This is the power of perseverance. This is the power of never giving up when everyone expects you to. This is the power of playing the long game. They thought they could break you. They thought they could control your fate. But instead, you flipped the game on them. You turned every disadvantage into an advantage. You used every setback as fuel for your ambition. And now, they are left to suffer the consequences of their arrogance, while you stand at the top, ready to claim your prize. They will try to find ways to distract you, to discourage you. But remember, they are only trying to cling to the remnants of a game they no longer understand. They will try to manipulate the rules again, to rewrite the narrative to fit their needs. But their time has passed. They had their chance, and they squandered it. Now, they will be left to watch as you rewrite the future. You've shown them that you are unstoppable. You've proven that they are not the ones in control. You are the one with the power. You are the one who has the upper hand. Now, it's time to step into the next phase of your journey. It's time to build upon your victory. Don't settle for just winning the battle. Win the war. Don't stop now. The moment you rest is the moment they have a chance to catch up. Stay relentless. Stay focused. Keep pushing forward. You have proven that you can take on the world and win. Now, prove that you can do it again and again. Because this is just the beginning. Your victory is not a one-time event. It is a statement. It is a testament to the strength, resilience, and power that resides within you. The game has changed. You've turned the tables. They are the ones who are losing now, and they will continue to lose because they cannot compete with what you've become. They cannot compete with the force of will, the drive, and the brilliance that now defines you. So, let them watch as you continue to rise. Let them watch as you take control and carve out your destiny. Because in the end, they will be left with nothing but their failed attempts to bring you down, while you stand at the pinnacle of your success. You've flipped the game, and now they're the ones losing. But let me make something clear here. The loss they're facing is not just about the outcome of a game. This is a loss of everything they thought they knew about power, about control, about success. You see, they built their empire on arrogance, on underestimating others, on exploiting weaknesses. They thought that success was a linear path, one where they simply dominated from the top, where they sat as kings, and others were just mere subjects beneath them. But in the end, what they didn't realize is that the foundation they built their world upon was fragile, and now the cracks are becoming visible. When they first saw you, they dismissed you. You were just another contender in the ring. They thought they knew what it took to defeat you before you ever had the chance to rise. They thought they could just ignore you, treat you as irrelevant. But in doing so, they missed something vital. Your relentless persistence. You weren't like the others. You didn't need a grand stage or a loud announcement to make your mark. You worked in silence, gathering strength, honing your skills. You didn't just play the game. You studied it, dissected it, and found the angles they never even considered. They thought they were invincible, and in their delusion, they failed to see how their own hubris was slowly leading them to their downfall. Now, they're scrambling, trying to regain the control they thought was theirs by right, but it's slipping through their fingers, and they don't know how to stop it. They spent years, maybe decades, living in their bubble of certainty. They surrounded themselves with sycophants, people who never questioned them, who praised their every move, and in doing so, they sealed their fate. They lived in a world where their word was law, where their decisions were unquestioned, and where the consequences of their actions never truly reached them. But you didn't just accept things as they were. You didn't let the status quo define you. You saw the cracks in their empire long before they did. You saw the lies they told themselves, the foundation that was destined to crumble. And while they were distracted, patting themselves on the back, you were laying the groundwork for your own rise, preparing to strike when they least expected it. They didn't see you coming, and that is what's breaking them now. The true beauty of your victory is not that you've taken something from them, but that you've created something they never could. You've built your success on your own terms, using the lessons you learned from every failure, every rejection, every hardship you faced along the way. You've learned to adapt, to pivot, to evolve, while they remained static, relying on old tricks and outdated methods. They believed that what worked in the past would continue to work in the future. They never understood the dynamic nature of progress, of change, and so they're stuck. They're drowning in a sea of their own inadequacies, while you continue to ride the tide of your success, effortlessly carving your path forward. But let's not forget, the road to this moment has not been easy. You didn't just wake up one day and find yourself on top. You didn't just flip the game by chance. You earned this. Every bruise, every setback, every moment of doubt, it all played a part in shaping the person you've become today. You've been through the fire. You've had your world shaken to its core. You've faced moments when it seemed impossible to go on, when everyone around you doubted your ability to succeed. But in those moments, when the world told you to quit, you didn't. You dug deeper. You found strength in places you never knew existed. You found courage when fear should have held you back. And now, as you stand on the other side of it, you realize that it was never about the obstacles you faced, but how you chose to rise above them. While they continue to choke on their own mistakes, you stand as a beacon of what's possible when you refuse to settle, when you refuse to let others dictate your narrative. You've turned every obstacle into a stepping stone. You've taken every punch thrown at you and turned it into fuel for your ambition. And now, they have no choice but to watch as you soar higher than they ever imagined possible. But here's the thing they never understood. Success is not about stomping on others to get to the top. It's about building something sustainable, something that lasts. Your rise isn't a fluke. It's a carefully calculated series of steps that you took, even when no one else believed in you. You've created a foundation so strong that no one can ever knock it down. They, on the other hand, built their empire on unstable ground, thinking they could avoid the consequences of their actions. And now, that foundation is crumbling, piece by piece, because it was never built to last. They thought they could play the game by their own rules, but the universe doesn't care about their arrogance. The world doesn't reward those who rely on shortcuts. And now, as they desperately try to fix what they broke, you're already looking ahead to your next move, ready to continue building your empire, brick by brick. There's an undeniable satisfaction in watching them fall. It's not that you wish harm on anyone, but there's a sense of justice in watching the ones who sought to break you face the consequences of their own actions. They had every opportunity to change, to evolve, to treat others with respect, but they chose not to. They chose to remain in their bubble of superiority, believing they were untouchable. And now, they are paying the price for their hubris. They are losing because they never understood the most important truth in life. Success is not a one-time event. It's a mindset, a relentless pursuit, a commitment to growth and improvement. They thought they had it all figured out, but they never anticipated the one thing that would lead to their downfall: your ability to keep moving forward, no matter the cost. And now, as they desperately scramble to salvage their empire, you can't help but recognize the emptiness of their victory. They built their success on the backs of others, using people as stepping stones, exploiting every opportunity to enrich themselves while crushing everyone in their path. But you've built something different. You've built your success from the ground up, with integrity, with hard work, and with an unwavering belief in yourself. You didn't need to tear others down to lift yourself up. You did it with honor, with a clear vision, and with the kind of strength that comes from facing adversity and overcoming it. They may have temporarily held the crown, but in the end, It was you who proved that true power doesn't come from domination. It comes from resilience. It comes from the ability to rise time and time again, no matter the odds. Now, as they watch you continue to climb, they will try to undermine you. They will attempt to recreate the illusion of control. But they are grasping at straws. They are trying to hold on to something that is already slipping away. The game has changed, and they no longer understand the rules. They are the ones losing, not because they were outplayed, but because they never understood the game in the first place. And as they struggle to adapt, you will continue to move forward, because you have something they never will: the ability to evolve, to grow, and to succeed on your own terms. The game is yours now. You've flipped it. And now, they are the ones who must learn the hard lesson of what it means to lose. So take a moment and look around. Understand that every single step you've taken has brought you here. Every single sacrifice, every single fight, every single moment of pain, it's all led to this. You've flipped the game on them. You've turned the tables. And now, they are the ones losing. They are the ones scrambling to catch up, while you're already moving ahead, building the future they can only dream of. They underestimated you. They thought they had won, but they were wrong. And now, the victory belongs to you. And with it comes the power to shape your own destiny. Because you, and only you, hold the keys to your future. Let them watch as you continue to rise, knowing that it is you who controls the game now. And they, well, they are the ones losing. And as they watch their empire crumble around them, they can't help but realize that their downfall was inevitable. It wasn't some random twist of fate or unforeseen event that did them in. It was their own arrogance. It was their blind belief that they could stay on top forever, without changing, without adapting, without understanding that the game was always evolving. While they sat in their ivory towers, thinking the world would bend to their will, you were down in the trenches, learning, growing, and most importantly, adapting. You never sat still. You never waited for the world to hand you anything. You seized it for yourself. And now, as they stand there, watching their world unravel, you're standing at the top, watching it all unfold with clarity, knowing it was never a matter of if, but when. The truth is, they were never ready for you. They were too busy believing their own hype to understand that the very system they had built their lives around was fundamentally flawed. They thought they were invincible because they had been successful for a time, but they missed the most important lesson of all. Success is never permanent unless you work for it every single day. They thought their past victories would be enough to carry them forward, but as the world changed, they stayed stagnant. They failed to innovate, failed to evolve, and failed to recognize that they were being outpaced by someone who was hungry, someone who was relentless, someone who refused to follow the rules they had set. And this is where the real difference lies. They had success handed to them on a silver platter, the product of manipulation, luck, and sheer privilege. But you had to fight for every inch of progress you've made. Nothing came easy for you. No one gave you a seat at the table. You didn't rely on connections or shortcuts to get ahead. You relied on your own strength, your own skills, and your own vision. While they rested on their laurels, you were out there grinding, pushing yourself beyond your limits. You were willing to take the risks they were too afraid to take. You were willing to face the challenges they thought were too great to overcome. You never sought validation from anyone. You sought growth, and it's that pursuit of growth that's now paying off. But here's the thing, they're losing more than just their power. They're losing their identity. They are nothing without the empire they've built. Without the prestige, the wealth, and the control, they have nothing left to stand on. They've based their entire existence on being the top dog, on being the one who calls the shots. Without that, who are they? Without that, what purpose do they have? And this is what you've done to them. You've stripped them of their illusion of invincibility. You've revealed their greatest weakness, which is their dependency on external validation. They were never strong because of their abilities. They were strong because the world allowed them to be. And now, the world is no longer on their side. The game is flipped, and they are no longer the dominant force. They are the ones scrambling, trying to maintain relevance in a world that no longer cares about them. They're the ones losing because they never took the time to build a foundation that could weather the storms. You, on the other hand, have spent years building resilience. You've faced obstacles head-on, never shying away from the difficult work. Every setback was an opportunity to grow stronger. Every failure was a lesson, not a reason to quit. You've become something they can never be, adaptable, resilient, and driven by purpose. You've mastered the art of reinvention. They were so busy enjoying the fruits of their past successes that they never saw the need to evolve. They never thought they would need to. But the game has changed. The world has moved on. And now they're left behind, watching in disbelief as someone they once dismissed takes their place. But let's not be mistaken. They will try to claw their way back. They will try to make a comeback, to regain control, to reassert their dominance. But here's the hard truth for them. It's too late. You've already surpassed them. They will never be able to catch up to the level you've reached. They may still try to pull the strings from behind the scenes, but the truth is they no longer have the influence they once had. People see through them now. The cracks are showing. They can't hide behind their power anymore. And as they try to regain their footing, you will continue to move forward, never looking back. You will continue to build, to grow, and to rise. They may try to disrupt you, but every attempt will be futile because they have no real power over you anymore. They only ever had power because you allowed them to. You were never their victim. You were always the one in control. And now they see that. It's a bitter pill for them to swallow, isn't it? The people who once scoffed at you, who tried to undermine you at every turn, who laughed at your ambitions and mocked your dreams. Those same people are now watching as you take everything they once held dear. You've proven that their assumptions about you were wrong, that their arrogance was misplaced, and that they were never in control to begin with. And now, with every victory you achieve, they are faced with the brutal reality that they are the ones losing. They were never as invincible as they thought. They were never as powerful as they believed. They were always just one mistake away from collapse. And that mistake was underestimating you. And while they wallow in their defeat, you will continue to rise. Because that's the thing about true power. It doesn't rely on external validation. It doesn't depend on luck or privilege. It comes from within. It comes from the fire inside you, the one that never goes out, no matter how dark the world may get. You've built your strength on your own terms. You didn't wait for someone to hand it to you. You fought for it. You earned it. And now, no one can take it from you. And here's the thing. They will try to rewrite the narrative. They will try to make it seem like they were the victims, like they were the ones who were wronged. They will try to make it seem like the game was never really fair, that they were somehow cheated out of their success. But it's all lies. Because in the end, you didn't win because of luck. You won because you were willing to do what they never could. You were willing to fight when they gave up. You were willing to get your hands dirty when they thought they were too good for that. You were willing to play the long game while they were playing checkers. And that's why you're standing here now, while they're losing everything they've built. It's not enough for them to just lose the game. They're losing their place in history. They're losing their relevance. They're losing the respect of those they once held in the palm of their hand. People are seeing them for what they really are: frauds, manipulators, and opportunists. They're losing the one thing that matters most: trust. And when trust is gone, everything else crumbles. They'll never be able to rebuild what they had. They'll never have the same power again. Because you've shown them that it was never about the game they played. It was about the game they couldn't even see. And that's where your real victory lies. They've lost because they couldn't see the future. They couldn't see that the world was changing, that they couldn't keep playing by the same rules. But you did. You saw the potential. You saw the opportunities that they missed. You saw the way forward, the way to the top, and you seized it. While they were too busy holding on to what they had, you were busy creating something far greater. And now, they'll never be able to catch up. They'll always be playing catch up while you continue to rise, to grow, to build. Because you're not just playing the game, you're changing it. So let them watch as you climb higher. Let them watch as they lose everything. Because in the end, they were never meant to stay on top. You were. In the end, they are the ones losing because they failed to see the truth. Success isn't about holding on to power. It's about adaptability, resilience, and the ability to evolve. While they were blinded by arrogance, you quietly built something stronger. Now, as they watch their empire crumble, you stand at the peak, not just a victor, but a testament to what happens when you refuse to be held down. You didn't just play the game, you transformed it. And that's why, in the end, it is you who will continue to rise, while they are left behind.